Hello everyone. So this is going to be a little review from me of this Bosch Series 8 10 kg washing machine just after it has been in for a few days. There are many fantastic YouTube channels out there that do this with much better equipment and commentary than I will. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so please bear with me. And apologies in advance if I get anything wrong or if I miss out a feature or something. I was waiting for a tripod to come to film this properly. I did some test videos yesterday using this phone, and even with the torch on, it's quite difficult to see inside the drum given the tinted heat shield on this unit on the door. So bear with me for longer videos, but I'll still upload plenty of short YouTube videos and do see what I can for the time being while I'm waiting for some other stuff to arrive. So first impressions so far after a few days of usage, this is an absolute beast of a machine. It's built solidly and I am very impressed with it so far. I've gone through it through and through with the app and all the features it has available. I still haven't used all of the programs yet, but so far I am very impressed. I had a plumber friend of mine come to help me install it as the floor is a little bit unlevel. So a little bit of work has been done to make it perfectly level with the spirit level, and it does definitely help to do that from a noise perspective as well. You can see that the machine does stick out quite a bit from the unit. Our previous machine did as well, and thankfully everyone in the household is okay with that. What I have done is I have some silicone bumpers as well that I have put onto the door of our cabinet here. So for example, when it's open, I like to leave the drawer and the door open a bit so the machine that there's air going in and out of the machine after cycles, for example, so that when you let it breathe and even when it's closed, it's protected there. And I don't know how, but by some sheer luck, the door just misses the handle there and it's protected by these bumpers as well. So very happy from that perspective. Dimensions wise, it is just under 60 centimeters wide, so pretty standard. And the height, I believe, is about almost 85 centimeters, and the depth, with the door included and this angled front here, I think is a near 65 centimeters. So the 64, 65. So it actually says, I believe, on other sites that this machine is 59 point something in terms of depth, but I don't think that they include the dimensions for the door and the front LCD panel. So everything included, I think you're looking at nearly 64 and a half, 65 centimeters. I've spoken way too much so far, so let me turn it on. So once you supply power to the machine for the first time, it's a bit like a computer booting up because it does take a lot longer to turn on while the software is loading. There'll be some clicks, there'll be some noises from inside and from the IDOS, which you will shortly hear. I'll shut this. So we turn it on. So first turn on after supplying power to the machine, you are looking at a near 30-35 seconds of the ring flashing before it turns on. So that noise is coming from the IDOS drawer. That is normal, that happens twice when you turn it on. And then this display comes up here. So just to go through some of the program options, you've got here all the cycle options on this center screen and a touch dial here, which is very, very nice to use. And you've got options here: mini load, power rinse, favorite option, go into the settings menu, child lock, remote start for the app, which is fantastic, by the way, the Wi-Fi symbol for when a Wi-Fi symbol has been established. And one good thing about this machine as well is that I believe our broadband works off a 5 gigahertz network, and that works absolutely fine. A previous machine that I installed with Wi-Fi, which didn't last in the house very long due to a few reasons, that only worked on a 2.4 gigahertz network, so that was a bit of a issue. There was a separate router extender I bought for that was 2.4 gigahertz only, but again there were other issues with the machine, so it had to go back to the manufacturer. So just to go through some of the options with you, I've got the book with me, as I can't remember all of the program details, the intricacies of some of these details. So Eco 40 to 60, so that's cotton, linen or blended fabrics, washing between 40 and 60 degrees. Automatic in terms of temperature, up to 1400 spin, and the time is there. Again, once the laundry is in, it will detect the amount of laundry, I believe, and it will adjust the time accordingly. Going through to cottons, again, you've got, this is all the same here. It will also tell you before the time comes up, if you can see that, the amount of recommended laundry, so the maximum 10 kilograms. If I was to put mini load, for example, that would then reduce down to half a kilogram. And then if I was to do mixed load, for example, it changes for every cycle based on the type of fabric. So cottons, what I like as well, you can cycle through the temperatures. Like a lot of machines now, it's just cold 20, 30, 40, 60 and 90, I believe. But you can go all through, you can go through every temperature on this machine. So 50 degrees and beyond 60 in increments of 10, which I really do like. Again, up to 1400 spin, and it shows the time there. What you can do as well is that if you wanted this done a lot quicker, you just press speed perfect, and it takes a massive chunk of time off, but it also halves the load recommended as well. You can put more than 5 kilograms in there, for example. It just recommends that based on the washing performance, I believe that it's recommended you don't put more than what it shows on the screen. But if you did put something more than 5 kilograms in there, as I have done, for example, just to see, the machine will still wash. It won't refuse to wash because you've put, say, 6 kilograms in a 5 kilogram recommended load. At least it hasn't with me anyway. And just to go through this function here, so this is the anti-stain column, which I really like. You press that and it comes up with a selection of different staining options. So sweat, grass, red wine, butter and oil, tomatoes and blood. But what you'll notice, I've not actually tried any of these functions yet, but they dramatically add to the washing time. So if you don't have anti-stain on, for example, you keep pressing it to cycle through. 3 hours 38. As soon as you go to blood, for example, it goes up to 5 hours and 8. Going through them, so like tomatoes, this is butter and oil, red wine, grass, and sweat. So some of them just add a brief amount of time, but it seems that this particular option here adds considerably more. Now the iDose tanks, which are here, this is the manual dosing compartment for manual powder. Fabric softener goes in here. It's preset, this unit, for fabric softener, but you can also change it in the settings menu for 2 detergent tanks, and this one here is detergent as well. There are a few of us in this household, and we all use pods or the laundry sheets and the scented beads, so no one really uses liquid detergent or fabric softener at all. But just to see if it works, I have tried fabric softener in this, and I have set it through the settings menu here, and it does work very, very well. So again, just going through the cycles here, we've got Easy Care Laundry there. So that is items made from synthetics or blended fabrics, and you've got all of your options here. Mixed load, so cotton, linen, synthetic or blended fabrics. Delicates and silk, that's pretty self-explanatory. Wool, there's the app function, and then it connects, you press remote start, and then you can go through the app, the Home Connect app, to customize your wash and see different analytics about the wash machine, which is very intuitive and very nice. Some people might find it a bit gimmicky, but for me, I like that sort of thing. Some of the buttons don't actually do anything and it will just skip to the next cycle. Rinse option, spin and drain, sportswear, super quick, which is preset at 30 minutes, speed perfect, adding to that changes it down to 15 minutes. But it's very customizable, which I like. So if I wanted a 30-minute wash, I can still put it up to a 1200 spin, go back down, and then I can still change the temperature and it will just change the time a little bit. And if I wanted power rinse, for example, that would just add the time even further. Power rinse is very, I mean, if you have sensitive skin, for example, or you like a lot of rinses in your washing, then it's definitely an option to select. I tried it on a cycle the other night, and unless I'm mistaken, for the time that I was in the kitchen anyway, it must have added a near 6 or 7 rinses after the main wash. So it really, really does rinse very well, this machine, with very good water levels. And one option that I like is that there are a lot of functions on the app that are not on the main screen itself. So if you do like using an app for your appliances, I really recommend you download it, because there are many more options on the app than there are just on here. And there are cycles that you can download as well. But like some of the options, you can put Intensive Plus through the app. You can put a silent function through the app, or Water Plus, which I really like, especially if I'm washing towels. But yes, I digress, sorry, that's the super quick option. So you can customize it 15 minutes, 30 minutes, but you can change different options as well. Hygiene Plus is, so that says here, wash hard wearing items made of cotton, linen or linen or blended fabrics, suitable for allergy sufferers and for strict hygiene requirements. And that one there gives a 6.5 kilogram load recommendation. And then we've got automatic. This one I've not tried yet, but I'm trying to think of what I can use in there to try it. I've never used a cycle like this before, and it's very fancy how it seems to work, and how it works I don't know how. But there are some sensors in the unit apparently where it can detect the type of fabric and the degree of soiling of the fabric, and the spin speed, the temperature, everything is automatic. So it does it itself, which is very interesting. Again, I've not tried that yet, but I will get back to you on that one. Iron Assist is a steam program, I believe. 1.5 kilograms, perfect for a few shirts, for example. Again, you cannot choose a temperature or a spin speed because this cycle does not wash. It is purely for iron assisting. So if you have some shirts that you want to throw in, for example, that are already clean, that is the sort of cycle that you would use for that. Just to go through another few of the options, so let's go back to cottons, for example. So again, you've seen mini load, you've seen power rinse, you've seen the anti-stain function. Pre-wash you've got as well again, which adds more time. You've got, I think this is a delay start, unless I've got this wrong, I've never used this. And you can put in how long you want the machine to finish the cycle, and then it will start and finish by that time, I believe. What else was there? Favorite option, I think if you press and hold that for a few seconds, it selects a favorite. That's all in the manual as well. Let's show you inside the drum. So it's got an interior light in the drum as well. Metal hinges, which I really do like. And it's, yeah, fantastic capacity. You can fit a lot in there. And one thing that I think you've hopefully noticed from my a previous video of it doing an interim spin. The microphone on this phone does not do it justice. This machine is so quiet, even on a 1400 spin. It does balance very well. It is quite fussy with balancing sometimes, and I have noticed that when you've got, if it's taken some time to balance a load, when it's readjusting, sometimes it can rebalance it perfectly, but then it will still not spin. Which can be a little bit frustrating, especially after it's gone through 2 or 3 attempts to balance, but eventually it does. So it can get a little bit fussy, especially if it's already been trying to and hasn't balanced successfully. But once it does, it is brilliant in terms of balancing and spinning. You've got the interior light there. You've got one of the water jets here, that water comes down this part of the portion of the seal here and the door here to fill up the clothes. So if you've got a lot of suds that accumulate, for example, this will clean it straight away. And here, I believe, what is it? That's the light through here, I believe it is. I don't know if they call it a recirculation valve or however it works, but during some cycles, water will come out of here and it will just rotate the clothes as water is continuously being cycled through this one. So I think that's a recirculation valve, but I am more than happy to be corrected on that. Down here, one thing I really like is that this machine has a drain hose. The amount of times I've had to get towels underneath the machine and I've made a huge mess all over the floor, and it's just been a nightmare sometimes trying to clean the pump. But I do like to clean this regularly. I do like to keep on top of looking after these machines. So it's nice to have a drain hose function that you can empty the water before you clean the pump. And I think somewhere up here or here is an emergency door release valve as well, just in case you need to get the door open. So that's the drum. The IDOS tanks, again, are here. If you press this button here, I'll try and do this with one hand, you can pull it out. I'm going to be careful here, don't put it out too far so I don't drop the unit. So this here is an electric pump. So if you want to clean the tanks, this whole unit has to come out, and it does go back quite far actually. And you push this tab in and the pump unit comes out. The pump unit I always settle on one side because you cannot get that wet. There's obviously a few electrical components in there that are, I believe, sealed once it's in here, but obviously they're exposed once you take it out, so you really have to be careful. But if you want to use anything in here and then clean it out afterwards, for example, this electric pump has to come out and be set somewhere to the side, and then once you've finished, you've dried the drawer, you can put the pump back in, and it literally just slides back in, clicks in. It's probably better if you push that down as you push it in, but again, one hand here, and then just like that. So with the IDOS function, for example, you've got IDOS 1 here, IDOS 2 here. That's detergent and that is fabric softener. Again, you can preset this as detergent as well if you want. Let's press those. They are flashing, as you can see. And what that means is that the tanks have an insufficient level or they are empty and need to be refilled before you can use them. Once they are filled to a sufficient level, this flashing will stop and then they will just remain on solid white. And then you'll be able to use the IDOS function. I can't remember which one it was, but some cycles so wool, for example, some cycles don't have an option to use the IDOS tanks. So that will actually be, it's not a case of being greyed out. If it's greyed out, you can select it, but if it's gone completely, it's gone. So you can't use it, but otherwise you can. The only slightly confusing thing is, which is a little bit counterintuitive, is that, but again, I am nitpicking here, the location of the way they've ordered it on the screen here. So on the left is IDOS 1, on the right is IDOS 2, detergent, fabric softener, is opposite to what's in the drawer. So on the left is fabric softener, which is on the right on the screen. On the right of the drawer is detergent. On the left on the screen is detergent. So they're opposites. But again, that's just me being very pedantic details there. But otherwise, so far, the machine has been absolutely fantastic. I will upload some more videos as much as I can. And if anyone, again, has any specific questions, please do leave me a comment and I will be happy to answer the best I can. Thank you very much.